On tonight's call, we're using some new software this evening. We've upgraded our streaming software. Marshall and I, we're going live on Restream. Drop in the chat, let me know that you're with us. Want to make sure we're coming through loud and clear on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook. I'm going to keep an eye on the chat, see who we've got with us. Hope you had a fantastic Christmas and New Year's. Okay, seems like we're working. Hi, Amelia. Welcome to the live stream. We got anyone from LinkedIn joining us? That's cool. That shows. Here we go. Paul from YouTube, how you doing? Happy New Year to you too, my friend. Hope everyone had a nice, restful Christmas and New Year. I believe we've got a lot to look forward to. Oh, LinkedIn's here as well. Hey, Ashley. There we go. Everyone's starting to chime in now. Hey, Lydon, sorry. Dave Clare, Happy New Year to you too, mate. Hi, Amber. Oh, well, let's get this show on the road. Yeah, so I'm going live on Restream, which I'm using. They've got a lot of functionality that I'm excited about using. We've got, everyone's starting to join in now. Hey, Susan, Happy New Year. Stefano, Happy New Year. Looks like we've got a bit of a crowd on LinkedIn, which is nice to see. So, with the new year underway, I think it's going to be a really good year. I think that's a general consensus. 2020, a bit of a mixed feedback. I think there's the main thing to take away from 2020 is we all write down and we all get very clear in our head what we learned from what went on in 2020 for our businesses, and look at like the strengths and the weaknesses and areas that we can improve upon moving forward. I think it's really important. And I think one of the big areas which I've identified in my business to improve upon is making my business accessible virtually and making online products accessible. So I've put together a planner for 2021, and it covers, first of all, like what did you learn in 2020? What could you do better? What are areas for improvement? And then it looks at 2021 and really just looks at getting your intentions straight. So what do you want to achieve in 2021? What are your goals? And then I think, from setting those intentions and setting those goals, you can work back from them and set some milestones, and plan your year out so you can achieve and accomplish what you want to. So yeah, and a big area for me is online products. I've got nathanielbibby.com, which is the design's finished. It's now in development. I hope to have it finished before the end of January, which will have a lot of courses on it, a lot of downloads, a lot of virtual products, a lot of virtual events will be on there, which I'm very excited about. The design looks awesome. Bold Web Design in South Australia is building that out for me. And then we've got some exciting events coming up, some of which will be in person, some of them will be virtual. One of the ones which I know there's a lot of excitement around is LinkedIn versus Instagram, which I'll be hosting with the Instagram legend, Brooke Vulinovich, which is scheduled for WA, is going to be on the 11th of February. And then we're doing a virtual event for Melbourne, Sydney, and Queensland as well in the following week. So tickets for that event will be released on Monday next week. So keep your eyes peeled for more information on LinkedIn versus Instagram. Very excited to be involved in that. And we've also got Restream, who I'm streaming through at the moment, on board as a sponsor, and a number of other local sponsors which will be joining us as well, which I'm very excited about. So if you'd like to get your hands on the planner that I put together, it's basically a worksheet that you can work through. It's a template that you can complete to get clear on your intentions of 2021. Please just drop into the comments planner, and I'll get one sent out to you for free. Yeah, there's no cost involved for that. It's something I put together to add a bit of value and help you get your year off to a good start. Marshall, does that sound exciting? Oh, he is excited about the planner. He's just been sat there while I've been creating it for many days, so he's a little bit worn out. It's beautiful weather here in Perth. It's been really sunny, so every time we go out for a walk, Marshall needs a good sleep. But let me know if you want the planner. Just drop planner in the comments, and I'll make sure that we get one out to you. And also, if you're interested in more information on LinkedIn versus Instagram, please keep an eye out on my content for more information on that. Particularly excited. We did a tour in 2019. I know many of you were there when we went to Melbourne, Sydney, and Perth, and we had a full house in each location, which was a lot of fun, where we battled it out, LinkedIn versus Instagram. I think these days it's really important just to look at your social media strategy and where your clients are hanging out. The average social media user has 8.5 accounts. They're using 8.5 different platforms. So it's not really enough anymore just to be active on one. You need to look at like where they're hanging out, where they're spending the most time, and where you think you can influence their customer journey. And I think, LinkedIn and Instagram are the two big ones for business, particularly because you can get such a free organic reach. Like if you post on Instagram, you post on LinkedIn without putting paid sponsorship behind it, you can reach a lot of people, and it's a great place to harness a community, grow a community. So I think Instagram's a big one. However, I've always found that I'm able to make a lot more revenue and do a lot more business on LinkedIn. I know Brooke Bilinovich will have something to say about that, but it's worth listening to us battle it out. I think, different platforms for different businesses, but I'm certainly active on both platforms. If you follow me on Instagram, the content's very different on there. Another one I'm a big believer in on is YouTube, as you know. I think YouTube's fantastic because a lot of the content on YouTube will it gets better with age. Like on LinkedIn and Instagram, you kind of post, and then after a week, the engagement dies down a little bit, and then you need to keep posting to keep reminding people, that you're there. Whereas on YouTube, if you optimize it correctly, the videos will actually do better over time. They get more views, and it's what I call what do they call it? Evergreen. Evergreen's a word I'm looking for. Evergreen content. YouTube's a great place for that. But I think, in the new year, and you'll see this in the planner as well, you need to be thinking about, how can you repurpose content? So first of all, that you don't have to be creating content all the time. How can you repurpose content and make it into articles and images and micro content, so that you can create one piece of content and use that to create 20, 30 pieces of images, videos, and shorter form posts and articles and stuff like that. So you're not always having to create, because it is a volume game, and we need to be as efficient as possible, especially if you're running a small business like I am. You need to be as effective and efficient as possible. It's not really viable for small businesses to have, a video production company, on the payroll constantly producing videos. So you've got to be thinking about how can you get the same amount of, how can you get more output from the same amount of input? And I use an adaptation of the content model that was developed by Gary Vaynerchuk. Gary V has a thing which he calls the content model. Basically what it is it's shaped like an upside down pyramid, and at the top you've got a pillar content, which is any long form piece of content. In his case, it's quite often like a talk or a keynote where he's speaking in front of an audience. What I found is it's just as effective to do a webinar or even an interview. So with our clients, a lot of the time we will interview them and ask them questions that we know will create engaging content, And so over the course of 30 minutes, maybe I'll ask 20 questions, and each one of those questions, those answers can be one short video. And then we can use that also to create images. And so, half an hour interview, you can create 3 months worth of content. And so that's something which I think is worth thinking about, because a lot of people don't plan their content. A lot of people, wake up and they think, oh, what am I going to post for my business today? It's really the wrong way to go about it. You want to be doing it in a strategic manner, working back from who your client avatar is, who you're trying to speak with, what kind of language do they speak, what are the things that what are the pieces of information that they're looking for when they're making buying decisions along the customer journey, and then you use that to shape your content. And you'll find that you probably are repeating yourself in different ways a lot of the time, but that's very necessary, because half the time, people will see this post, they won't see that post. And even if they do see it, our attention spans apparently shorter than a goldfish now, which means that people aren't necessarily going to remember your content. So you need to be reminding them, repeating the message over and over and over again. And I think the easiest way to do that is to be strategic about it. So highly, if you didn't catch on at the start of the live, I was just talking about my 2021 planner, which is a template I put together for you to look at 2020, where you can improve, what you learned from the year when COVID-19 and all that sort of stuff. I was just talking about how in my business I'm creating a website with a lot of virtual products on it. A lot of virtual events, nathanielbibby.com, which will just make it easier for people to do business with me remotely. So I'm very excited about releasing that later in the month. And we've got LinkedIn versus Instagram coming up in February, which I'm very excited about. We're doing Perth live in person on the live in person. Yep, that's right. On the 11th of February. For those of you in Perth, it'll be at the Rendezvous Hotel in Scarborough. Very excited. We've got a bit of a VIP after party for that as well, which I'm hosting with Brooke Valinovich. And then we're doing a lot virtual events for Melbourne, Sydney, and Brisbane. So practicing what we preach. We've learned a lot from looking at the way that virtual events have been run by some of the people that I follow, people like Tony Robbins and Grant Cardone and guys like this, and taking some of the learnings and applying it to these events. So it'll be a good experience, not only to come and grab the content, but also just look at how we're running those virtual events, and maybe it'll give you some ideas of some of the things you can do in your business to adapt to the new world economy, because we really don't know where things are going. But one thing we can control is how we deliver our products and services. So rather than sitting around and waiting for things to get better and for the borders to open up, I think it makes sense to make it easier for people to do business with you, easier for you to serve your customers, and then communicate that to them as well. So that there's an option. They've got the option. I think the businesses that don't adapt are the ones that are going to be stuck sitting on their thumbs waiting for something outside of their control to change in order for their business to be competitive. Thanks for dropping in to say hello, Mark. Good to hear from you. Lots of jabs on social and right hooks on Google. Good to hear, mate. Lots of you registering your interest for the planner. If you do want the planner, by the way, drop in planner in the comments. I'll make sure I get a copy over to you for sure. Good to hear from you, Carl. Happy New Year to you, mate. Thanks everybody for dropping in with your Happy New Year wishes. I think it's going to be a really good year. I'm super excited about 2021. We've got a lot to look forward to. So I just want to drop in with those messages. If you're watching the recording, I'm going to keep an eye on the comments. So do drop in if you want to get a copy of the planner. And we'll see you next week, same time for Monday Night Live from Marshall and Nathaniel. Have a great week in business.